out here.
Hi, my name is Carlos. I travel, I tattoo, and I take it all in. One country at a time, one tattoo at a time. Travel is what inspires me. Tattooing is what guides me. This is how I interpret the world. This is the global canvas.
Check, 1 2 1 2. What's up, everybody? Everybody tuning in. Anybody that's watching live, anybody that's watching this on a VOD, thank you so much for coming by. I'm gonna try something different today. Something I've never done in oil painting before. Today I'm going to start creating some neon signage coming from this bar, and it's gonna light the interior of the alley up a little bit. My plan was to do like an open sign right here, and then some sort of advertisement neon inside the bar window here. Also, I wanted to put a little spot lamp coming down this way, like over the door, like how this one is over this door. But I don't know yet if I'm gonna be able to do both in the same session. Both meaning this spot lamp here and then this neon sign here. I don't know. I feel like the glow that's going to come from this, if I block this layer in first, it's just going to mix with it and make it a total mess. The other, that's not even a concern. So yeah, we're going to put an open sign, OPEN, right here, and then some advertisement in here. If you look at my palette, I have two new tones here. This is the first time in 19 hours of working on this painting. It's actually more than that. I timed it out. It's more like 22. Anyway, 19 episodes. It's the first time I've added anything to my palette. The only thing I've invested in thus far was some brushes. But everything else was the original purchase for this, which is my basic color setup here. But we're not messing with that today. Today I'm strictly going to try to create some neon tones using this Cad Orange from Winds of Newton and this, I never knew how to pronounce this, quinacridone violet. I don't know. I picked them up at the supply store, and they seemed like they might be the answer I'm looking for. So without further ado, let's pour them out. I am going to do my, I hope this is really liquidy too, because I need it to be pretty transparent. I'm hoping to do the orange neons first, like a red-orange neon, and then the violet neons after that. I have a picture in my head of how I want to do it, but I'm not 100%. But we got to mix up a couple tones. I'm going to do my violets up here and my oranges over here. I'm pouring it out directly next to my alizarin crimson, which I should add a little bit of back to my palette, just so I have a nice wet, viscous pile of paint there. That will help me mix this Cad Orange to a much brighter state. And I might, and then I got some titanium white out here. I poured a fresh pots of titanium white so as to be able to tint it to various stages of brightness. Let's see. I did a bunch of spring cleaning today and organized all my stuff, and I just feel good, you know. Palette knife. Got all my brushes lined up over here, so I feel good. But let's start by mixing up some piles of paint. So I'm going to do our orange neon first. Orange and a little bit of alizarin crimson. As always, I want to color in threes, right? So I want to get a few different tones. I've done neon lights in tattooing before, never in oil painting, which is why the disclaimer of we're trying something new and I don't really know if it's going to work out, but that's just how the game goes, right? We test, we try. But anyway, I've done this in tattooing before, so I know the formula. I know how to make something look like it's glowing, like really hot, really bright. The question is, can we pull it off in oils? So, as always, though, I'm going to have 3 tones. I always paint in 3s, right? So 3 levels of whatever it is. Basically just a mid-tone, a highlight, and a shadow. So let me mix up my shadow, quote-unquote shadow, for the neon light. And this is going to be more of like where it's blending off and dissipating away. And then I'll have my mid-tone, which will be the straight orange here. I'll pour out some more Naples yellow, and we'll mix a bright with that. It's so nice having everything at the ready. So there's some more Naples yellow. I know it's like super bright on my palette right now, but let's see my tones there. I'm trying out a new setup today. I have a really bright lamp right here. Actually, you can see it in the reflection here. I put a polarizing filter on my lamp. That's why you can't see those bulbs right there. And a polarizing filter on the front of my camera lens here to try to get a better, more realistic lighting on this. And I balanced. What's up, cadet? Good to see you. That's okay. No rush. We just tapped in. I'm just mixing up some piles of paint here to catch you up really quick. We're gonna do some neon light effects today, coming off of the bar over here, and I'm just mixing up my tones right now. So you've missed nothing. So anyway, I'm trying a little bit of a new effect today with my camera, and we'll see how it works. And if it's something worth keeping, though, we'll keep it. And if it's a waste of my time, I won't use it. I wish I could wake up at the crack of 3. Used to be able to. That used to be my jam. Back before the children's. So I'm trying to get my value range here for my orangey colors. And then I wonder, should I mix up my magenta or my yeah, let's get a mix up that way in case I need to balance the values off of each other. I have both piles up here, so first of all, let's pull this out and see what we're working with. That's pretty nice. It's pretty nice tones. Put a ridiculous amount. Oh, nice, nice, nice. I love it. I swear I cleaned my palette, or at least this section of it, before we started. It's so messy. See if I could brighten that up a little bit. See some alizarin crimson in there too. This is to up the chromatic value, make it a little bit more pink and punchy. I feel like there are going to be some neon experts that say, like, you need to match the Pantone hue perfect to what the gas can actually produce as far as the light goes. But I'm not friends with those people, so they can kick rocks. Alright, so then if that's my dark, quote unquote, my medium, we just need to mix up a little bit of a light over here. And today's goal of making these neons happen will not include the final touch, which is the brightest part, because I'm going to need these glow effects to set up first. So unfortunately, we're going to have to wait until later to finish these neon signs. What do you got? A little bit like 4 animals, nice waking up at 12. 1 is normal for me. Awesome. Subs increase. Yeah, I am so grateful. I have no idea how this is happening, but I have a couple of videos that are taking off and just people keep subbing based off of that. So it's working. The dream is coming true. Just here, get this nice and centered. And then we can start playing around with some paint. Thanks for joining, guys. That always makes this so fun. The goal, and it's not a goal that I'm actively working towards, like focusing on daily, but the goal is to be able to just do this full time. I would love if I could find a future in which I just sit around in my house and paint and chat online. That sounds like a really good time for me. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is use my mop brush, and we're going to dry brush the exterior glow, the haze glow of the neons, and then as it gets closer to the lettering, it gets progressively brighter and brighter, more chromatic, more saturated, and then the light itself, like I said, after this layer dries, we'll get into that. So I feel like I can dry brush this effect, so I'm gonna grab a piece of paper towel. And I'm gonna try to do this approach slow and gentle because I want to make sure I don't ruin the progress that we have so far. So what I'm doing, you can see down here or up here, is I'm taking paint from my palette. I'm wiping almost all of it off onto this piece of paper towel so that there's a little bit on there, and then we can softly start to brush in and build up some hues. So let's make that happen. Sometimes I get quiet while streaming whenever I try new things, because I'm also curious to see if it's going to work. This is awesome. Oh, I'm so excited for today. What do we do with 3,000 people? Like, I know they don't come into these streams, but like, I have 3,000 subscribers, and it feels like we're all doing it together, you know, for some weird way, some parasympathetic way, parasocial way, I mean. What do we do with all these people? You just say hi every day and thanks? I mean, I don't know where else to go with that. Isn't that so cool already? Just a little bit of glow on there. I'm gonna have it illuminating the underside of this balcony for sure. So cool. I was also saying earlier before you guys, get out of town. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Like I forget you not. Yeah, right. Like we'll hit 1 million. We will get there. Yeah, yay colors. Oh, wow colors. Oh, okay. Did you guys have fun on that music stream last night? I'm not gonna do it again. I don't think so, at least. Unless that becomes a thing. Maybe that's what we'll do with 3,000. Okay, so now we have a soft haze glow of where this neon is going to diffuse and spread. So now we're gonna pick up my medium tone. We're gonna come in and dry brush. And this is straight cadmium orange right here. And we'll dry brush a little bit closer as we dial in. This one I'm gonna have to grab another blender to really softly blend those, even though it looks super cool already. I want to make sure that this is as soft of a transition as possible, so let me pick up another fresh soft blend brush. This is going to be super soft. This might be too soft to pull off what I'm doing, but that's good. Rather err on the side of too much than, or yeah, you know what I mean, than not enough. Oh, this is perfect. Oh, this effect is going to be gorgeous. I love trying new stuff in front of people, failing in front of people. I'll say it a million times until you're tired of me talking about it too. Okay, killer. Nice. Yes, I like the music stream, and that was what we were talking later that night about blues. You make music. Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate that. Again, it would probably have to be its own beast, right? Its own channel. It was already risky in my opinion. I don't know this world. The streaming world is new to me, but I feel like it was risky to even give it a shot last night because it's like the algorithm might be like, oh, are you a music person or a painting person? Because I'm already supposed to be a travel guide, and I'm doing more oil painting than anything else, so it felt a little risky. All right. Let's use a smaller brush that's got a little bit of softness to it and put in the next tone. Let's try this guy, see how this works. Which is going to be even lighter, even hotter, even brighter. And this is going to go closer to the center of that orange that we just put in there. And now I gotta be careful because I gotta start really making some decisions on the shape of the lettering in the window. And the lettering needs to taper with perspective of the painting, right? So let me see how this will work. Right, love it. Going to say open vertically. We'll need really it's just that you get to use that perspective. It's going to be down here, which is basically straight across. Okay, so now that we have that pushed in, now we can blur that out. And then essentially what we're doing is we're just getting closer to the yellow to the white as the effect, as the dissipation of this over space comes inwards. How cool is that? It's already starting to feel like a warm light, huh? Now, you may already tell what's going on here, but this light is going to be affecting this foreground character, right? That's just how it goes. So we're going to have to figure out how much light is hitting her. Now, this light is backwards in space, going back this way, so a lot of it would be hitting on the opposite side that we're not really going to see. So we would basically just have like a little bit of that edge coming around and affecting. So I'm seeing like this part of her arm right here already has a little bit of a red, like an orangish glow to it. So if I pump that effect up a little bit here. It feels a little bit warmer, right? Yeah, this is looking cool. I'm already digging. I'm gonna make some major changes here today. Some major changes that is just something that I noticed from looking at this after stream, but I'll take care of that later. And as such, I'll take care of this lighting thing that I'm talking about right now later too. So I'm gonna leave that as the only part of the orange glow that's hitting our ballerina right now. And we're gonna move on to blocking in the lighting for the second LED, or the second neon. For the second neon, I need to figure out what I wanna do with it. I need to come up with some kind of shape, some sort of advertisement maybe. I know it needs to have these pink tones. I don't know of any like beer or liquor product that has like magenta for its labeling. We could do something basic, just like a neon of a heart. Should we do that? Let's just do that. That'll just be easier. And to do that, we'll first need to maybe clean these brushes off. Not sure. Let's see. I feel like this isn't too bad. All right, so I'm going to use the straight magenta here as my shadow, quote unquote shadow tone. Let me get another new piece of paper towel so I'm not messing with that orange paper towel. A little bit of brightness because it's dark there. So some of this mid-tone. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So I don't know if you guys were able to see this when I was mixing down here. I think you were. But now we have some pinkish tone to play with here. And I'm gonna have like a neon heart here, and then maybe we'll put like a menu or an advertisement in the window over here. Nice. This is fun. So this is going to be bright, and if it's going to be as bright as that orange that's next to it, the light needs to affect the same amount of area. So we're going to have to bring this out and really start glowing this place. Got some weather today, man. Air through the walls. I want to keep this open so we can still see our little cat. You guys remember when we were talking about an animal we put up in there? The little cat's still in there. Okay, let's see. Punch the value up a little bit tighter. I feel like we could still do a little bit more with the background glow, spreading it out further. Maybe it also affects the underside of this balcony a little bit, huh? Makes a little bit more sense now to me, hopefully to you as well. bit tighter with this lighter tone. Probably should have blended it out, before I did the lighter tone. Let me get back to my big soft blending brush. Again, this is like the softest bristles I have. So it's really going to help dissipate these tones, make them more believable. Isn't it rad, dude? It just scared the heck out of me. I got my phone in the metal tray on my easel, and it just vibrated with a push notification. I didn't know what it was, but it sounded like my glass palette just started vibrating itself, like it was about to pop off of the bench or something. Look at that, even our glass that was in the window is starting to pick up some of that neon that's on the outside. So, and also like just the tiniest little donut shape here, because if it's gonna be a heart, you know, obviously it's got like a center point to it, but I want to be able to see through it so we can sell the illusion a little bit better. All right, so right now it's got too circular of a shape for something that's supposed to be on this perspective like this. So I'm going to pump up this edge here, bring it up a little bit. And I should also use a smaller brush to start doing that. Since, clean it off with some liquid over here. I'm going to use a smaller brush for it since the effect is going to start to pull inwards. Alright, so we need the mounds on the top of the heart. Here, I'll explain it like this. Really quick. We need the mounds on the top of the heart, these two parts here, to follow whatever perspective we have going on. So the light looks like it's supposed to be there. So if that's the case, I'm basically just gonna draw a straight line from the heart. This is still, even though we changed it to a nighttime scene, the heart is still the center of the piece, poetically and literally, as far as the perspective goes. So I could use a piece of tape, but let's keep winging it. So I'll just kind of look and draw out here. Go one mound here. Does it show up? Oh, sure does. Okay, good. And there, one mound here. Barely showing up. So we're gonna mix up a slightly lighter tone. Again, following that perspective. Got one dot there. One dot there. Bottom of that heart is going to be somewhere around there. Now we'll just kind of these bad boys. And then once I have the shape closer to accurate, like I do with the OPEN over here, I'll go in a little bit more obvious what we're looking at. Cool, cool. Now I'm gonna go back to blurring this out because I don't want any definition in this layer yet. So light tone, just gonna kind of punch in, move it around, soften, soften. Cool, dude. Okay. So now we have those two lights. I wish I could come up with like 35 others, but we gotta be reasonable here. It looks like I might be able to get away with pulling some light in here because I want to have another spot lamp over that front door like I do here. And then like I said, I could put like some menus in the window or something, but I like our broken glass here and I like our empty drinking glass here and the bench. So let's just leave that open. That way there would be some kind of narrative about somebody no longer sitting there. Is it her? No, because we already know from experience that she's coming out of this stage door right here out to the back alley to practice something. But we'll leave that like that just for now. And let's see if we can mess around. Oh, I know what we have to do. This is very important. Let's use probably a blender brush for this, eh? Maybe a super soft blender. Let's see if that works. Okay. We did the little bit of the orange glow coming from here, hitting the ballerina's arm over here. I want to bring some of these pink neon tones over here. However, we have some error in our mathematics here that we have to discuss. And it's something that I just noticed after our last stream, and I have to make a big decision on what to do about it. So, right now, we are looking at this leg is her left leg, right, outer, and this leg is her inside leg. Move back in space a little bit, right? So she's kicking her one foot out. If you look, the bottom of this foot is right here. Essentially the exact same plane as this foot, right? But if you were to take this leg and extend it straight, she's gonna have one leg that's significantly shorter than the other leg. So, what do we do about this? Well, I came up with an idea, and it's twofold. First thing I'm gonna do is this foot is gonna need to come down lower because this is going to be the new outer leg. We're gonna change the shapes in here to now make this her left leg and this kicking back her right. So now we're looking at the inside ankle here, and then this is going to be the outside ankle here. There's no definition in this like butt hip section here yet, but this will allow us to put some more definition and some more lighting effects in it, because right now with her left leg being the outer leg here, that puts her buttocks like right in here, and then we're just on the flat side of the hip, right? If we switch it, bring this foot down so that the two legs would be the same height, we could then have her butt come out this way, and then we can have two volumes, one for each butt cheek, right? And then that can pick up some more light, give us some more realism, and it can take care of like the flatness that we're experiencing here. But all of that means that this leg will need to be bigger in the foreground because this one's now kicked back, right? Makes sense? So what I'll need to do is make sure that this kneecap, I like this leg, I don't want to touch this. I feel like we nailed that. This, we can move this around however we need to, right? So this kneecap is going to need to be at least this height, if not just a little bit lower, and then shin and then foot. So she's gonna come like way down here. Why am I bringing all that up now? Because when that leg is figured out, this light is going to be hitting that front leg and it's going to be glowing on this edge here. Pretty cool. We don't have this part figured out yet, so I'm gonna start up here and then just call it with that glow for a minute until we fix this foot. So now back to what I was saying. I'm gonna go in with, use my medium tone here. This is technically a watercolor brush. It's a really soft bristle brush, but that's what I'm going for. I'm gonna wipe off most of the pigment So it's just barely there. You see if I'm wiping this on a new area, it's just kind of picking up. That gives me the opportunity to know that when I put a brush stroke down, it's not going to go super flat and really mess things up. But all I want to do is tint the parts of her body that are picking up that pink neon. This is getting cool. This is getting really exciting. Now we're getting some real believability in this world. And as you can remember, this material is like kind of quasi-reflective also. So if her second butt cheek is going to be 1, 2, because this will be the new outer leg, I'll fix that, pull that down. So basically I'm just going to tint a little bit here and leave that as that. And then we'll work on this leg and see if we can fix that. Also, like I was saying, I want to get another lamp over here. So let's do that today too. Sweet. This is a killer, man. I knew I was going to enjoy putting these neons in here, and I'm really happy we're making this a nighttime alleyway scene because it gives us a lot more opportunity to do cool stuff like this. Nobody's going to be throwing those neons up super bright in the middle of the day. Yeah, slick. Look at the neons, how bright they get when I pull a lamp in front of it. Ooh, that's nice. Set my lamp like that. Having good anatomy and art. That's why I draw cartoons. I have always, I'm going to say this on a stream as a tattooer or professional artist, but my weakest point is drawing. My weakest point is figuring out things like anatomy and figuring out this perspective stuff. So this is a really useful, helpful exercise for me. Definitely. The nature of the tattoos that I do, it's recreating an image that's already on, paper. That's my strong suit, is faithfully reproducing the image. So drawing the image from scratch, like with this, we're learning. Yeah, boy. Okay. Let's leave that for right now. Cadet, should we do this light first back here, or should we extend this foot first? Leaving it up to you. As always, these streams are brought to you by my fizzy waters. They keep me burping and swallowing on stream all day. We got a lag on our, there's always a lag on the chat. I'll give it the light first. You got it. All right. Was that cool? Did you enjoy doing that? I feel like it was a missed opportunity because I should have wiped off the glaze on this side too last night, but I just wasn't thinking about it until looking at it after stream. So we're gonna have to cheese it in and basically do what we just did with these lights, but with a white light coming that way. So let's see. New brush. For this, I will use. Still, it's got to be kind of a softer. Use the soft filter brush. We'll start there. We don't have any real details back here yet, so that's fine. I could cheese it in. I'm just going to use some Naples yellow, some off-white, warm white. I mean, I'm gonna do the same dry brushing trick. All the brushes. I'm back, baby. I would be holding 14, 15 brushes in my original foray into oil painting. It was ridiculous. Oh! I knew that was going to happen too. Alright, I'll drop my lamp. Can you still see it? It's not as bright though, right? knew at some point my technology would fail me. I was just trying to turn my brightness up on this so you guys can see better. Is that all right? Yeah, it's all right. Okay. Anyway, where was I? Oh, back in the day when I used to paint, I would have so many brushes in my hand going at once. It was the silliest thing in the world. All right, so this will have another light similar to this, but up above the door here. Which will create a little bit of a cone of light back this way. A little more extreme than I expected or than I wanted, so I'm going to use a rag, piece of old t-shirt, kind of lift off some of this pigment. Yeah, it's a little reductive of a method, but it does work. Adding and subtracting, adding and subtracting. And it's funny, this pulls the attention back into the ballerina, right? Because that light is flying that way now. It needs to have a softer edge for all the reasons, right? One, it just needs a softer edge like this in general, but two, this is further back in the distance of our painting. Should be a lot more diffused. Just a little bit of shape there, so let me put that back in. Better, closer, warmer. 2 hairs and some hairs, Bob Ross would say. Really light touch. Cool. Cool. And maybe this light doesn't reach all the way to the ground like this one does, right? Because this is not a spot lamp. This is, hey, our bar is open and the door is right here type light, right? So let's soften it up even more. Just picking up a little bit of paint with this rag. Let's blur it out. Really diffuse it. Sick. Yeah. Now we're getting somewhere. Ultimately, when these bulbs are in, it'll be like the thing that jumps off, and we're going to miss a lot of back here anyway. Did I break my lamp or did it just turn off? I don't know if that's helpful at all, but there we go. Temperature light. Oh, I see what took place. It's just the battery died when I dropped it. All right, that's fair. I don't need to mess with it anymore. Just set it to the side, take care of it later. Okay, so I need to put a little sconce back there. Nothing much, nothing too detailed, nothing that we can really make out because that part of our painting is so far in the distance there. But we do want to see the light bulb peeking out from the bottom. So I'll just use some of this darkness from our last stream here. This little mix of lamp black and kind of like a warmer tone. Burp into my microphone really quick. Cool. We need to get a little dab of a light bulb. Sweet. All right, cool. I like that. Feel good about that. Thank you, Cadet. All right, so now let's do this boring or terribly unenviable task of extending this foot. It's not really gonna be that big of a deal. Bringing the silhouette of the leg down will be, I think relatively easy. Nice liner brush. Set my missies to the side so I don't need to deal with them right now. And that was pretty much straight lamp black, I believe, if I remember correctly. I used a lot of special sauce in the first layer, which is French ultramarine blue, alizarin crimson, raw umber mixed together to make a really rich black that isn't like devoid of hue, but we need to plow over all this anyway. So, okay, I need the kneecap of the new leg to be here. Quads really pop. Kneecap, shin, new calf is going to come out here, so this whole thing's going to cut in this way. That dumb foot sticking out looks stupid, but I can already tell that the legs are going to look better this way. It's not uncommon. I can point out two pieces of the DIA right off the bat. One in the American wing, and one right when you walk in, you go up the little steps, and there's like the Caravaggio area. But it's not uncommon that if you look really close at some paintings, even like William Adolph Bouguereau's Dante and Virgil, where you can see areas that the artist repainted just to change like the mathematics on some stuff. The Dante and Virgil has a really good one where he never really buried the original foot on Dante, and you could like see, like, it's essentially like if I just glazed over this, you could see a little bit of it peeking out, and it's like, rah-rah. Looks like somebody forgot to do something. We can, after this this layer sets up, we can come back in and tune this new shape a little bit better. All right, now I gotta take care of deleting this foot back here. And I'm kind of just trying to mix up a little bit of pigment that's similar to the color that's already on the canvas. A lot of muddy tones back there. I knew that one would be too light. I should have followed my instincts. Toss some lamp black in here, and it already looks like it's losing value, so I'm going to come back and add a little bit of raw sienna. Yeah, it's pretty darn close. Not 100%, but it's pretty close. Issue is that this is this discolored piece of cement, right? So I need to mix up that tone as well. Let me first lock all that. Erase this foot, which I should have used this saturated version. It's so wild to have spent so much time working on something like the feet and the ballerina flats to just have to go in and get rid of it, but sometimes that's what it takes. There's this tool I utilize. I didn't make it up, but it's a tool I utilize all the time in art called "kill your darlings." I don't know if you guys have ever heard this phrase before, but sometimes, I think it comes from writing, honestly. But sometimes you just work and work and work on something, and even though you fell in love with it while you're putting it all together, it's just not right. So sometimes you gotta kill your darlings. That could be throwing out an entire art project. That could be just rewriting a chapter of a book you're working on. That could be crumpling up and throwing away a piece of paper with a drawing that's just not cutting mustard, you know? Like I said, we'll shape out the silhouette of this, we'll carve it in, and really deal with that in a subsequent layer. But we got a little task ahead of us right now to block in a new foot shape, so let's work on that. And I already threw away all the pigment I had from last stream that made up my flesh tone, but I'll use Naples Yellow, Alizarin Crimson, raw sienna. That'll give me a good starting tone. Titanium white. Nice rich flesh tone. Beautiful. See? Don't harm, no foul. Just move a foot. It's not that big a deal. The smart thing would have been to have a reference ready to roll. So I don't have to just guess all these shapes again, but that's okay. Just guess all the shapes again. It's just a foot sideways. It's not like it's the most complex shape in the world, and it's in a ballerina flat, so that removes most of the shapes of the toes to begin with. So overall, if this is going to be her outside leg, that feels a little bit better. A little bit better. Not great, but it feels a little bit better. After this dries, I can glaze right over it with a raw umber. Right now I'm going to use some of this darker mixed pile I got here just to knock down the values, to knock down the chroma. It's so trippy to think that I'm changing the shape and the setup of these legs. But I determined that's what I needed to do. And also, it's going to make so much more sense later when I get to put some more lighting effects, and it'll. Oh, watch this. I'm gonna do this trick. I was about to do it without even narrating. So I got this rag, right? I'm gonna run my finger right along the bottom of this easel here, just straighten out bottom of the foot. Just cut off the tiniest little bit there, so I don't have to worry so much about is it tilted or not. I mean, actually, the front of this, these leggings and the front of this foot is going to be able to pick up some of that pink glow too. So that's going to be nice. have a little bit more ankle. Right. I'm going to have to lift some paint to do that, though. This is giving us some sense of depth now of the feet moving backwards in space like this too. Here he goes, getting quiet again. I wonder, I spend too much time on this ballerina flat and I really like it. I would kill the darling if what I'm about to say was necessary, but I wonder if she was barefoot, if that would tell a different story. It would, but I just wonder what that story would be. It'd be something about like how she just kicked her shoes off and started practicing and dancing with reckless abandon, you know. There could be broken glass in the ground, she doesn't care, she just has to dance. But the ballet flats is more important to me because this speaks to like she's at rehearsal, you know. So she had to step out to do something. Maybe this dance is for her. It's no longer about whatever production they're putting on. Yeah, starting to feel better. All right, cool. Thank you so much, Shirley. I was just thinking about you. I was like, oh man, we had one other person in the chat the other day that I would love to get some perspective from. Cool. Yeah, drop some comments on the video, and then I'll respond in the next video. You missed a big one where we made everything look dark, and then we put this spot lamp up here, and now we're adding some neons and some stuff, but you'll catch up. Have a great day at work. Again, going no reference here, boys and girls, and others. We're straight up in making things up as we go territory, which is a fun place to be. And this is a safe place to experiment with that, because it's painting. As long as I don't eat my oil paint, nothing bad is going to happen here. Do you keep thinking how fun it'd be to sabotage it and just destroy the whole thing? Ah! That'd be so rude to you, the viewers. Okay. That will be the shape of that new legend. And so that is that. Now, let's do some moving on. So now we can create the glow effect that's going on the front of the leg and the pants and the front of the foot there. We could also reshape this buttocks and have this light hit that. I'm excited to do all of this stuff. Before I pull out 45 more brushes, let me see what ones I have messy and what I can use for this. These are literally the brushes I'm using right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 9. This guy I don't need. Alright, so I will blend out. This black here, I need to pull it back this way. I'm obviously gonna grab another brush. Blend out that. I can't do too much down here because it's new pigment. I need it to set up before I do the next layer on there. But we got that at least pulled off there. Let's see if this is a horrible idea or not to pull in some more of this. I'm gonna put it in the knot column. I think this is gonna be a great idea, so let's do that. Some of that reflected light from this pink neon up here. Nice. I would disappear here a little bit and then come back a little bit on the kneecap. Oops. Looks like garbage, but that's okay. That should be my t-shirt. This looks like trash. Fix it later. And we'll put a little bit on the front of the foot. And even though I gotta rework this whole section to bring it up to speed with this will at least remind me that this is one of the elements that I had here, was making sure that we got some of that pink lighting to show up on the foot. Alright, sweet. So now that we got that indicated a little bit, ooh, I know another spot that I need to hit some of this glow effect. Important. Little under mound of the boob here. Not much, but just enough. Okay. Cool. So now we got some neons indicated, and we have some cast lighting indicated. Let's make sure we identify the shape now, because this is now our outer leg. So let me grab a darker brush here, and let's see. I'll do the highlight before I do the shadow to separate the two butt cheeks. I hope AI moderators aren't listening to what I'm saying right now and determining whether or not they need to shadow ban me. Alright, so that means that this glute is going to come out to like here somewhere. So I can cut back in this way. Right. What if I just left it like that and we're done? Amazing what you can do with just a little bit of imagination here. Starting to really shape out the head looks. And now we can see some more of the bending that's going on with this character, right? Something else we forgot to take care of in our last stream was the lighting on the hair. Gotta bring that back now. Man, she's about to be caked up. I should dial that back a little. No, I don't need to dial it back. I can do whatever I want. She's a ballerina. She's in good shape. But I do need to blend these tones. And that butt is too high, right? I gotta bring it down a little bit. This would be another great area to have paid attention in anatomy. Happy little accidents. Let's figure out how to use that Bob Ross. Let's figure out how to use this. Okay, you're gonna make me texturize right off rip? Wanna make me start putting some texture in these paintings? I can do that. I guess if the light's coming in this direction, it's gonna hit over here anyway. I'm gonna study an effect to do right here, but I think I should have some of this light appearing, like peeking out over here too. I think that'd be a cool idea. She is getting pretty caked up, and I do like it. So I need to softly blend this stuff out. I can't have it look ridiculous. So I'm doing this. I'm taking this big fuzzy blending brush, just kind of pushing into the canvas to forcefully mix the new tones with the deeper tones. Man, I'm missing a heck of a Red Wings game. And it'll remove some of the texture, and it'll blend some of our additions to what's already there. I haven't put any darks in yet, so start shaping out the butt. Some darks too. Getting further and further away from what I wanted on this, to be honest. Trying to think of this like a three-dimensional volume, right? Like it's a ball. You guys did so much degree practice in. Thank you so much. I will see you later. I'm gonna keep going here. I'm not worried about the time right now, but you have a good one. But yeah, thinking about this as like a three-dimensional object, a little bit more bulbous than anything else, and yeah, we'll call it after I finish I like how shiny they're getting. Right? How much light they're actually picking up now. Nice. So I'm gonna let these set up, let it dry, and then I will go over that whole section with some more black, lamp black to glaze it, and also some of the raw umber, because I do want to maintain the consistent shadowing throughout everything. But we're getting somewhere, definitely getting somewhere. You know, all the normal things like follow, subscribe, suggest to your friends, share stuff. You know, that'd be awesome too. Really helpful for the channel. Whatever you guys are doing that's working. We somehow got 3,000 followers in the last week, so it's working. The dream is coming together. Apart from that, I'll see you guys